Hello, in this video we are going to look at barriers of communication. What is a barrier of communication? Anything that disturbs the communication process. We have a total of 7 barriers of communication and I'll explain one by one. Number 1, physical barrier. Any physical distraction, for example, you are watching this video and suddenly there's no more battery, or you are in the classroom and suddenly someone enters the classroom. Everybody's attention will be on the new person who just walked into the classroom. Physical barrier, it can be the aircon's not working, or there's no electricity, or someone comes into the room, or you see someone who is busy eating, busy drinking, or playing the phone. Physical barriers, physical distraction that disturbs the communication process. You are giving a presentation and suddenly your friend makes a funny face or sticks out the tongue. That is also a physical barrier. The second one is cultural barrier. Differences in culture between the speaker and listener. For example, we all know yes and no. Yes and no. But in India, they will shake their head for yes and no. Aditya, do you understand? In Malaysia, we say yes. But in India, Aditya, do you understand? Yes. Yes. Is there any problem? Yeah, no. No. Different cultures will have different gestures. Like, for example, here in Malaysia, Malaysian Indians, we know this as eat. But in Italy, this means something offensive. It could be also in Malaysia, when we meet someone, we'll nod our head. So, hello, or thank you. But in Japan, they will bow. Hello. In Japan, they will bow to say hello. In Malaysia, we just nod our head. Hello. If you do not know the culture of Japan, you might be thinking, why is that person bowing his head? One more. Here, in Malaysia, this means hello, thank you, what else? Hello, thank you, my fault. But in other places, do you have any questions for me? Why are you raising your hands? So cultural differences. Cultural differences can be a cultural barrier. We have language barrier, differences in words. For example, jargons. Jargons are specific words used by specific professions. So, I can say the word onomatopoeia, and another person who is an English lecturer or an English linguist might understand what I mean by onomatopoeia. We come from the same background, same educational background. But if I say onomatopoeia to you guys, to my students say, what is that? Onomatopoeia means the sound that is made when you clank two objects together. For example, when you clap your hand, that clapping sound is onomatopoeia. Or when you're reading a comic book, you see the hero is punching the villain, poof. You see the word poof. Those are onomatopoeia. That tiny Malaysian Chinese singing, Yam Ting. The ting is a onomatopoeia. So I cannot use onomatopoeia with you guys. So I say the sound that is made from two objects that are touched together, that's onomatopoeia. Language jargon can be a language barrier. And then we have slang. For example, brekkie. It's a slang in Australia for breakfast, but in Malaysia we don't use that word at all. Next, we have inappropriate language. Inappropriate language, I don't have to tell you, it means bad words. I won't give you example of bad words, but bad words are often language barriers. You say one bad word, the other person will say, why is that person cursing? I don't want to hear what he has to say. So language barrier, we have jargon, specific terms. We don't use specific terms when we're talking to others. Slang and pronunciation, it can be a language barrier. For example, the term brekkie for breakfast. And we have inappropriate language, bad words. Our fourth barrier of communication is speaking barriers. People who have pronunciation difficulties. We have slur. For example, like me. I have a problem with R and W, S and shun. For example, the word wawang, R-A-W-A-N-G. I cannot pronounce the word R, the letter R, the letter W. Wawang. So when I say something wawang, when I say wawang, people look at me, what? Sh and tune, communication. When the TION is getting better, communication. Or shut up. I still have problems pronouncing the SH. So slur is a barrier of communication. We have Tourette's. Tourette's means someone who repeats his words again and again and again. For example, I have to say I'm very happy to be here with all of you. This is not a joke. Some people, they have Tourette. They cannot pronounce a word until they repeat the syllable many times. It's no joke. Paralinguistic features that do not include accent, slang, pronunciation. For example, he has difficulty pronouncing the word. Accent. Something like Tourette's as well. Number 5, we have non-verbal communication. For example, sometimes when speaking, you can see the speaker is not looking at you. That is considered as a barrier of communication. Again, in some culture, not having eye contact is a good thing. Some cultures, not having eye contact is a bad thing. So it depends on where you are. If you are going to a particular place, say I'm going to Japan, I must know what are the cultural differences. Then we have lack of EQ. For example, I'm a nurse. No, I'm a doctor. And my patient has blood cancer stage 4. So when I speak to him, I say, "Excuse me, sir, I'm so sorry to tell you that you have cancer, stage 4 blood cancer. I'm so sorry." This is EQ. But If let's say you watch the show Good Doctor, Murphy is an autistic doctor, so whenever he speaks to someone, he speaks without any emotion quotation, without showing anything. Excuse me, sir, I'm so sorry to tell you, you have stage 4 blood cancer. No EQ, lack of EQ is a barrier of communication. And number 7, information overload. Too much information from a lecturer, that also can be a barrier. So, I repeat, barriers of communication, anything that disturbs the communication process. We have physical barriers, cultural barriers, language barriers, speaking barriers, non-verbal, lack of emotion, and information overload. In the next video, we will be talking about convergence. So that's it for today. That's it for this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.